So I think I'm done starting over. Like every time my work starts gaining momentum, I kind of convince myself like the answer is to like do something else. Like this month, I realized that I don't need another fresh start. Like I don't need another fresh start. I just need to stay long enough to see what happens. And today I just want to talk about that. And if you're new here, I'm Xuan, and this is Cozy Notes, where I share about how we can let go of perfection and embrace more ease. And I'm so happy that you're here. Now let's get into it. And yes, this is future Xuan. I forgot to introduce myself because always. So I know it's been a while since I shared a podcast session, podcast episode, yap session, whatever you want to call this. I don't know. Whatever this year podcast series is. I have no clue. Yeah, life has just been lifing, you know. The end of the homeschool year has been crazy. I know you hear those of you that are watching, I'm not at home. I'm at my parents' house again. Yeah, my parents live along a golf course, and you're going to hear people playing golf, and you're also going to hear they constantly like mow the grass here. So yeah, you're going to be hearing that happening. So anyways, the homeschool year has been crazy. It was our first year homeschooling high school, and that's like a different beast. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah. And then my husband's job was like, it's his work has been slow. It's been uncertain. Like, you know, he's been, on one hand, he's been traveling a lot. And then on the other hand, when he's not traveling a lot, he's been home a lot. And, you know, when he's not home, he's not working, and not working, not bringing in the money. Right. So, yeah. Luckily, we have savings, but, you know, savings only last so long. So, you know, a lot of big decisions, a lot of stress, and then I at this time of year, something I do every year is I apply for teaching jobs, even though I don't want to go back to teaching. Every year I do it. Every year I apply for teaching jobs. Usually, what I don't do is hit like send the completed application, or I'll like miss one thing so that they don't consider my application. But this year what I did, I sent a completed application to the point where I got an interview. Yeah. And so, yeah, I applied for a homeschool teacher position at a charter school that actually we homeschool through. And yeah, as soon as I hit submit, I regretted it. I did. I regretted it. I regretted it. First, let's talk about why I applied. So, like I said, financial uncertainty, you know, kind of makes you question everything around you if you're doing the right thing, right? So, you know, what am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing by staying home and homeschooling my kids? Am I doing the right thing by starting, you know, working on this business? Because, you know, starting a business is you don't have instant success. And the people that do have instant success, they probably had many businesses before this. This is probably not their first business. So we don't know like what went on behind the scenes, right? And then, you know, also I could have applied for other jobs, but teaching was familiar. Teaching is something I already know, you know, even though this position that I applied for really had no teaching. It was all paperwork basically, and paperwork, it was the part of teaching that I did not enjoy. So why did I apply for this job? Yeah, but it felt safe. It felt safe. It felt like the mature thing to do. You know, it felt like the right thing, the responsible thing to do. And, you know, yes, it was the responsible adult thing to do. But, you know, deep down, it felt off. It felt off, and I knew it wasn't the right thing. I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. I knew I was compromising. I knew, yeah. As soon as I applied, I had that sinking feeling like, oh crap. You know, I really disappointed myself. Kind of disappointed, I think, my family and my friends too. Because as soon as I told my husband and my best friends about it, they're just like, what? Like, WTF? Like, what the heck are you doing? Like, my husband pretty much like asked me, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like he reminded me. Even my best friend, like she was like, when I was told her about this, both of them on Marco Polo, like they're like, it doesn't sound like you want to do this. Why did you apply? And it's like, you know, because it's the responsible thing to do. But yeah, they reminded me that, I'm trying to build something here. I'm trying to build a coaching business. I'm trying to, I'm finally getting clients. I mean, I've had clients before, but, I'm consistently getting clients. I'm regrowing my YouTube channel, after it died when I switched niches at the beginning of last year. I'm starting rebuilding the whole getting brand deals again. And, I feel like things are finally coming together again. And it's like I'm on this precipice. I'm about to move to the next level of my career. And it's kind of, and it's kind of, it's kind of not nerve wracking, but it's kind of, it's a little scary, right? And instead of like pushing myself to go that next level, I was reverting back. I was like playing it safe, basically, And then also, I am one of those people that sees a squirrel and I go chasing it. So apparently, I've been a dog all my life and chasing squirrels. And yeah, so, so yeah. So my realization is that it's not the teaching job. It's not about the teaching job. Oh, but let's go back. Let's go back to the interview before I talk more about this. So the interview, I got an interview. I pressed submit. Didn't really think I would get the interview just because I have this online persona. And with teaching, they kind of want G rated, right? And my online persona is not G rated. It's PG, maybe PG 13, because sometimes I drop F bombs and stuff. So, which I'm trying to clean up a bit because, yeah, if you want brand deals, especially the ones that I want, like I need to be a little bit more PG. But anyways, I got the interview. I was surprised by that. So I'm like, okay, I got the interview, but because I felt kind of icky about having submitted it and like not doing what I wanted to do, being the responsible adult and getting a job that I didn't really want to get, or applying for a job I didn't really want to get, I instead of scheduling the first possible interview, because that's what past me would have done, an eager me, if it was a job I really wanted to get, I would have scheduled the first possible interview slot, right? But since it wasn't, I scheduled myself the last possible interview slot. So obviously, by the time they got to me, I already felt like they were wonderful people. They were nice. They were sweet ladies. But I already felt that they had already decided who they wanted. They were kind of over it. I already felt it. Like with the whole interview process, I would be too. If I were them, if I were interviewing like hundreds of people, I would be over it too. So totally understand. But they were perfectly nice, right? You could tell by the questions that they were asking that they were like tired of asking these questions. And the questions also were very generic, for one. I mean, I haven't been interviewed in a long time, but this was before AI when I was interviewed. So these questions were they sounded very AI generated, for one. And they didn't, sometimes some of these questions didn't make sense to me. I don't know if I'm dumb or something, but yeah, it didn't make sense. And then, I'm making sure this is on. And then, yeah, I wasn't excited. They didn't seem excited. yeah, they weren't really into it. I wasn't really into it. No one was energized by it at all, you know? And yeah, like halfway through the interview, I was just like, yeah, I didn't give my all. I think they could tell. And yeah, I didn't really want it. And so when I got the email saying that I didn't get it, I was okay. I was okay with that. It was kind of nice because I've never had a rejection before. So it's nice to be rejected. It felt good. So I realized my realization was that it wasn't about the teaching job. My realization is that I've done this my whole life, that I find something that I love and I work really hard, right? I work really hard, you know, things start gaining momentum. And then I think I get scared, right? I get scared. And then I convince myself I should go do something else. Squirrel brain, right? And I do this over and over and over and over and over again. And I've just been abandoning myself every time things like start getting real, right? I keep doing this. I keep doing this to myself. And I think this is kind of like a type of perfectionism, right? Similar to procrastination, right? So perfectionism, you know, we all always think of perfectionism as, you know, perfectionism. I can't even say the word. Is like doing things perfectly, right? All the time. Perfect house, being the perfect mom, you know, being very organized or whatever, you know. But perfectionism has disguises. It wears disguises, right? It whispers in your ear that like maybe there's a better path, or maybe this isn't the right thing, or maybe, you know, you need to pivot again. You know, it's about it's thinking that you need to chase perfection, right? I think that's what it is. But it isn't. We can't chase perfection because there's no such thing as perfection. There isn't anything better out there. Thinking that there's something better out there, right? We can't chase certainty. We can't chase certainty because there is no certainty, right? Because entrepreneurship doesn't have any certainty. Life doesn't have any certainty. That's for sure. So when I look back over my life, yes, I have notes down here. When I look back over my life, I don't see someone who failed. I did not fail, you know, but I was someone that kept starting over. I kept starting over and I kept changing directions, thinking that it was the right choice. And sometimes it was. Sometimes it was the right choice to change directions. But sometimes I think staying long enough just to find out what would happen probably would have been a good choice too. You know what I mean? Because staying means that you can't blame the wrong path anymore, right? Because you have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. Because sometimes I think we're scared, you know? Like there's a lot of videos out there about starting over. You know, I started over. But maybe, I mean, sometimes we're forced to start over. I get it, you know? But sometimes, you know, maybe you don't start over. Maybe you don't start over, right? You trust yourself, and that's kind of scarier than starting over. Trusting yourself and trusting the path that you're on. This time, I believe that things are going to actually work out because they are. Like my coaching business is growing, right? I just launched a new beta program, and I already have 2 clients because of it. And my YouTube channel is growing again, thankfully, after my pivot. I'm finally like creating content that feels authentic and real to me. I'm even dipping my toes back into Instagram after like my hiatus and my like long hate of Instagram. I'm dipping my toes back in because I feel like I'm at that place where I can create content that feels good to me on Instagram. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Like I said, I'm dipping my toes back in. We'll see how that goes. I'll report back. But it's not about growing fast, because I'm not into like going viral. I'm not into like being all weird, creepy, salesy. I'm not into being, online constantly, showing up online constantly and doing all the things that like the people say that you should do, like I can't with that. I can't. Yeah. I have to do things my way, you know, and it's not going to be the path that a majority of these people take. I already know that. And that's okay, because, I'm okay taking the slow and steady path. I'm okay being a tortoise. I'm okay being a tortoise. And, because that's honest, I think. That's the path I'm going towards. That's just me. And I think the bravest thing I can do right now at 51, almost 51, is to like not reinvent myself. I'm not going to reinvent myself. I'm just going to stay. I'm just going to stay where I'm at right now. I'm just going to stay. So yeah, long story short, I didn't get the job. I did not get the job, and I've never been happier to receive a rejection, because, I realized that I wasn't disappointed. I was actually super relieved to not get this job. And, it told me everything I needed to know. So, yeah, I thought, changing directions meant that you were brave. And sometimes it is. But, sometimes it's just perfectionism convincing me that the next path would be better. And it sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes choosing something different is not the right path. Sometimes choosing to stay. Sometimes choosing to stay put and not having squirrel brain, because I know it's going to work. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm on the right path. It feels good. Your intuition is quiet, right? It whispers. Your ego is loud and it yells. So I need to listen to the whisper, and my whisper says that I'm on the right path, right? And I need to trust myself. I need to trust myself enough to find out. And I think that's my whole, trading perfection for ease. I mean, that's what it really looks like. Listening to that quiet whisper and not starting over, not finding the perfect path, because there is no perfect path, right? We need to get over that. We need to get over that. And just giving yourself permission to stop searching for one, Like, we don't need to keep searching for the perfect path, because there is none. Just take one day at a time. Yeah. All right. I'm going to sign off. I need to go to Costco. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao.